the docking bay, staring at the stars beyond thick glass. Her tall, lean frame shimmered under the station lights. The sharp lines of her armor caught the glow like a blade. She was ready. Her next hunt was about. To begin, Zarala was not just any hunter. She was a Zenthari, a proud race known across the galaxy for their strength, speed, and sharp minds. For years, she had taken part in the most dangerous and thrilling sport in the galaxy, hunting humans. To the Zenthari, it was a game of skill and honor. Humans were clever and unpredictable, making them the most prized targets. She had won 13 hunts. Each one added to her fame. Other hunters respected her. Some feared her. She never failed. She never showed mercy. The sport was broadcast across the stars. Rich alien spectators watched and cheered as hunters chased humans across strange worlds. The hunters used only limited gear. Guns were forbidden. Traps, cunning, and close combat were the only ways to win. It was a test of pure skill. Her target now was a distant jungle moon called Veridis-9. It was a wild and dangerous place, full of poisonous plants and violent storms. A small group of human refugees had been hiding there for years. Most hunters avoided it. Too risky, they said. But to Zarela, the danger only made it more exciting. She stepped onto her small hunting vessel. It was built for speed and stealth. The ship's AI greeted her with a calm voice. Coordinates locked for Veridis-9. Conditions unstable. Proceed, yes, she answered. Begin launch. The ship rose from the docking bay and flew into the dark sky. Stars blurred past as she sat in silence, going over her plans. She knew the humans would be scared. They always were, but fear made them. Interesting, Zarala wasn't cruel, at least not in her own eyes. This was tradition. This was honor. Her ancestors had done the same. Hunting humans was a rite of passage, a way to prove strength and earn respect. Still, something about this hunt felt different. She couldn't say why. After several hours, Veridis-9 came into view. Thick green clouds swirled over the moon. Lightning cracked through the sky like a whip. The ship rocked slightly as it entered the atmosphere. The jungle below looked like a sea of sharp leaves and twisting trees. It was perfect. She landed in a quiet valley surrounded by cliffs. Her armor adjusted to the humidity. Her vision scanner blinked to life, showing heat signatures and movement in the distance. There were humans here. She smiled with her long spear. Strapped to her back, she moved quietly through the trees. Her steps made no sound. Her eyes scanned the land. She found broken branches, old tracks, signs of traps. These humans were careful. She liked that. She crouched near a small stream, touching the damp ground. Footprints. 2 adults, 1 child. Less than a day old, they were close. She followed. Hours passed. The jungle buzzed with insects. Strange birds cried out from the trees. Zarala moved with care. She was close now. She could smell them. Suddenly a snap. A vine trap whipped up from the ground, catching her leg. It slammed into a tree with a grunt. The spear fell from her back. She hissed in pain and cut herself free with a small blade. Someone had set that trap well. Not just luck. Skill. She looked around, alert. No one attacked. The jungle was still. Zarela picked up her spear and continued, now more cautious. The humans knew she was here. They would hide. But that was part of the game. As the sun began to set, she reached a rocky ridge. Below, hidden between thick trees, was a small camp. She saw old shelters made from metal and leaves. Smoke rose from a hidden fire. She zoomed in with her scanner. A man stood guard. He looked strong but tired. His clothes were patched and dirty. He held a wooden staff. Not much for a weapon, but his eyes were sharp. He moved like someone who had survived much. Zarela watched him. He didn't look scared. He was just ready. She would wait until night. Then she would strike. But as she turned to go, she felt a sharp sting in her side. Another trap. This one had a small spike, not deadly, but deep enough to draw blood. She cursed and pulled it out. She had underestimated them. Zarela sat under a tree tending to her wound. Her fingers brushed the mark left by the spike. It wasn't serious, but it burned. Maybe from poison. As the stars came out, she looked up through the leaves. These humans were not weak, not like the others she had. Hunted. She thought again of the man with the sharp eyes. Alex Carter. She had read his name in the database before coming. A survivor of 3 raids, former engineer, quiet, clever. He would be her real challenge, and for the first time in many hunts, Sorella felt something she hadn't felt in years. Excitement. She leaned back and smiled, blood still on her fingers. The hunt had begun. The jungle moon Veritas 9 was quiet at dawn. Mist floated through the tall trees, and the only sounds were the soft calls of strange birds. Inside a hidden camp deep in the forest, a small group of humans began their day. They were survivors. Some had been here for years. Others had come. More recently, escaping the reach of alien hunters, Alex Carter stood near the edge of the camp. He looked out into the trees, holding a long wooden staff in one hand. His eyes moved slowly, watching for anything unusual. He had not slept much. Something felt different last night. The air had changed. He could feel it. He walked back toward the center of the camp where others were waking up. There were about 20 people in total. Some were children, some were older. Most of them had seen too much. Maria, a young woman with short brown hair and a quiet voice, approached him. "Did you see anything last night?" she asked. "No," Alex said, shaking his head. "But she's here, I'm sure of it." Maria nodded. She trusted Alex. Everyone did. He had kept them alive through storms, wild beasts, and worse. They had traps set, all around the camp, and lookout posts high in the trees. Still, a Xanthari huntress was not a normal threat. Alex gathered a small group of adults. They sat on logs near the fire pit, going over plans. "We need to stay hidden," he said. "In groups, check traps. Don't go far. If she finds one of us alone, it's over." An older man named Greg frowned. "We've dealt with hunters before." "Why is this one different?" "Because this one is Sorella," Alex said. "She's killed more humans than any other Xanthari alive. And she never loses." The name sent a chill through the group. Everyone had heard of her. Stories of her cold skill and speed spread between human camps like ghost tales. "We don't fight her," Alex continued. "We survive her. Let her get bored. Let her make a mistake." The group nodded, though fear was plain on their faces. They all knew that surviving one of the galaxy's top hunters would take more than luck. Later, that morning, Alex went out to check traps with 2 others, Maria and a man named Ben. They walked in silence, listening to every sound in the jungle. Alex stopped suddenly and held up his hand. There was a broken branch someone had passed through. Recently, the marks were not from an animal. He knelt down and touched the ground. "Xanthari," he whispered. "She's close." Ben looked around nervously. "Should we go back?" "No, we keep going, quietly." They moved slowly, staying low. They reached one of the traps of vine snare Alex had built last month. The vines were snapped, and a dark red mark stained the leaves nearby. "She triggered it," Maria said. Alex stared at the blood. "She got hurt. Not badly, but enough. That means she didn't expect it. We caught her off guard," and smiled for the first time that day. "So she's not perfect." "No one is," Alex said. "But now she knows we're careful. That makes her more dangerous." They returned to camp just before noon. The sun above the jungle burned hot and the air was thick. Alex spoke to the group again. "She's watching us. Maybe from the trees, maybe from the cliffs. Don't do anything. Alone, if you move, take someone with you. Always." For the rest of the day, the camp stayed quiet. People spoke in whispers. Children were kept close. Even the smallest tasks, like collecting water or fixing shelter walls, were done with fear. In every step, Alex sat alone in the evening, sharpening a wooden spear. He thought about the last time he had seen a Xanthari up close. It had been 2 years ago. That hunter had killed 7 people before finally stepping into one of Alex's spike pits. That was the only reason they had survived. But Sorella was different. She would not fall for the same trap twice. Maria came over and sat next to him. "You think she attacked tonight?" Maybe, he said. Or maybe she waits, studies us. She's smart, not just fast. What do we do if she comes into the camp? Alex looked up at the stars through a gap in the leaves. Then we run. Maria didn't ask anything more. That night the jungle seemed to hold its breath. Even the animals were quiet. Alex stayed awake, sitting near the edge of camp with his spear in hand. He thought of his old life. Before all this, he had been an engineer. Built ships, fixed machines, had never imagined hunting traps or hiding in the trees. But life had changed. The galaxy had changed. He was a protector, not by choice, but by need. Hours passed. Then he saw it. A flash of movement in the trees. It was too fast for an animal. Alex stood and raised his hand slowly, giving the silent signal to the others nearby. 2 men moved into position. Maria climbed to a lookout post. No one made a sound. Alex stared into the darkness. He couldn't see her, but he knew she was there, and somewhere out there. Zarella watched him too. She had seen how the humans worked together, how they moved with care, how they placed their traps. She had felt their traps with her own blood, but it was the man Alex Carter that caught her attention the most. He was calm, like the others. The jungle was quiet the next morning. Sunlight pushed through the thick trees, casting long shadows over the leaves. Alex woke early, just before the others. He had not slept well. Something told him the Zenthari huntress had been near the camp. Last night, he couldn't prove it, but he felt her eyes watching from the trees. He got up and walked to the edge of the camp. The air was heavy with mist. He checked the traps again. One of them had been disarmed. No footprints, no broken vines. But the trigger was gone, carefully removed. She's testing us, Alex said to himself. She wants to see how we react. Walked back and called a meeting. Everyone gathered quietly. Be ready, Alex told them. She's close. She's smart. She won't attack until she's sure she can win. Some people looked nervous. A few looked angry. But they all listened. Maria spoke up. How long do we wait? As long as it takes, Alex said. We have to outlast her. That afternoon, a storm rolled in. The sky turned dark. Rain fell hard and thunder cracked across the sky. The jungle became even more dangerous. Mudslides and falling branches forced the humans to stay near the camp. Zarella moved through the trees with ease. The rain didn't bother her. Her armor adjusted to the wet and cold. Her wounds had started to heal. But she moved slower now, more carefully. She watched the camp from high in a tree. The humans stayed close together, working as a team. She had hunted many humans before, but these ones were different. They didn't panic. They didn't run. They planned. And they protected each other. Zarella's eyes focused on one man, Alex Carter. She had watched him for 2 nights. He moved. With purpose, he was not afraid. That was strange. Most humans were afraid. But he stood tall, even when alone. She climbed down the tree and crept closer. She didn't plan to strike today. She just wanted to see the camp up close. Then she made a mistake. As she stepped over a log, her foot hit a hidden tripwire. A net shot up from the ground and wrapped around her legs. She fell hard into the mud. Within seconds, Alex heard the noise, grabbed his staff and ran toward the sound. Maria followed him. When they arrived, they saw the net shaking. Something big was trapped. Alex raised his hand. Stay back, he said. He stepped closer, spear ready. Then he saw her. Zarella, the hunter, was caught in his trap. Him with sharp glowing eyes. Her face was calm, but her body was tense. He had her, but he didn't move to kill her. Zarella expected him to strike. That's what any other human would have done. That's what she would have done if the roles were reversed. But Alex did something else. He lowered his spear. You're hurt, he said. And you're not fighting. Zarella didn't speak. She just watched him. Alex knelt down and cut part of the net. You can get out if you want. I won't stop you. Maria stared at him like he was crazy. Alex, what are you doing? She didn't attack the camp. She didn't kill anyone. She could have, but she didn't. Maria didn't understand, but she stepped back. Zarala slowly pushed the net away and stood. She was covered in mud and her leg was bleeding. She didn't attack. She just stood there. Alex took a step back. Zarella looked at him. Why? She asked. It was the first word she had spoken. Her voice was deep and smooth. Because killing you won't help us, Alex said. And maybe you're not like the others. They stared at each other. The rain fell harder. Zarala turned and disappeared into the trees without another word. Back at camp, some people were angry. Others were confused. Ben said Alex had made a mistake. Greg said they should have killed her. Alex listened, but didn't argue. She had the chance to kill me too, he said, but she didn't. That night, the camp stayed on high alert. Alex sat near the fire, thinking. He didn't trust Sorella completely, but something had changed. She wasn't just a hunter anymore. In the jungle, Sorella sat on a high branch, her leg wrapped in cloth. She thought about Alex. No human had ever spared her. No human had looked at her with anything but fear. He had confused her. She didn't know what to do next. Part of her wanted to finish the hunt, to end it the way she always did. But another part, something deep inside, wanted to understand. She looked at the stars above, whispered to herself, "What kind of human are you, Alex Carter?" For the first time in her life, the great hunter was unsure. The game had changed, and so had she. Asterisk days passed on Veritas 9. The jungle was still dangerous, and the storm had passed, but the real tension stayed in the air. Alex continued to lead his people, but something was different now. He kept looking into the trees, not just for danger, but for her. Zarala had not returned since the day she was caught in the net. She had the chance to fight, to attack even, to kill, but she didn't. And Alex had spared her. Some people in the camp were still angry. They didn't understand why Alex let her go. They didn't trust her, but Alex stayed calm. He believed something had changed. Not just in Zarala, but in him too. That morning, Alex and Maria were checking the outer traps when they saw something unexpected. A pile of food. Berries, roots, and clean water in a leaf bowl. All fresh, all untouched. Left near one of the hidden traps, Alex stared at it. She left this. Maria frowned. Why would she help us? Alex shook his head. I don't know. Maybe it's her way of saying thank you. Or maybe she wants to talk. Maria didn't like it. But Alex picked up the food carefully and brought it back to camp. He didn't let anyone eat it, just in case. But he saw it as a sign. A message later that day, Alex returned alone to the same spot. He left something behind, a carved wooden figure. It looked like a small bird, a gift, nothing dangerous, just a symbol. The next day, the bird was gone. Zarala watched from the trees. She held the small wooden figure in her hand. It was simple, but carefully made. She could see the time he had put into it. No traps, no poison, just a message. He was not like the others she had hunted. She had started her mission with pride. Hunt the humans, win the game. Prove herself again. But now, that purpose felt weak. Empty. She thought about Alex Carter more than she wanted to. The way he stood, the way he looked at her without fear, the way he protected his people, even when it was hard. That night, she came closer. Alex was sitting near the fire, staring at the flames. The camp was quiet. Most of the others had gone to sleep. Maria was still awake, sharpening a tool. Then, from the shadows, a voice came. You're brave, or foolish. Alex stood slowly. He knew the voice. Zarala stepped into the light. Her armor was scratched, and her legs still wrapped. But she walked with strength. Maria jumped up, ready to fight. Alex held up his hand. It's all right. She's not here to attack. Zarella looked at Maria. He's right. I could have killed him before. I didn't. I'm not here for blood. Maria still looked unsure, but she backed away slowly. Alex faced Zarala. You came to talk. Zarala nodded. I wanted to understand. Why did you let me go? Alex didn't speak for a moment. Then he said, because mercy is stronger than fear. Hey, don't want more death. Not from you, not from us. Zarella's eyes narrowed. Your people fear mine. With reason, we hunt, you run. That's how it has always been. That doesn't make it right, Alex said. You're strong, smarter than most. You could do more than just hunt. Zarella stared at the fire. The light reflected in her eyes. Do you think I can change? Alex answered softly. I think you already have. Silence fell between them. In that quiet, something unspoken passed. Respect, curiosity, maybe even the first spark of something more. Zarella stepped back into the shadows. This hunt, is no longer mine. I will not harm your people. Not while I'm here. Then she was gone. Maria looked at Alex. Oh, do you trust her now? Alex sighed. I don't know, but I believe her. That's enough for now. The next days were peaceful. No traps were triggered. No strange sounds in the night. The jungle was calm. Zarella returned only once, silently leaving more supplies at the edge of the camp. Food, herbs, and clean water, a gift of peace. The humans grew less afraid. Some began to believe that maybe, just maybe, they had a strange ally in the forest. But deep in the sky, a new ship was approaching, Veritas 9. It flew fast and quiet. Its purpose was not mercy, not peace. Inside the ship was another Zenthari, a rival hunter named Varric. He had heard of Zarella's delay, of her failure to end the hunt, and now he came to finish it. To kill the humans. To defeat Zarella, he wanted glory, and he wanted blood. Back in the jungle, Zarella stood on a cliff, watching the stars. She saw the small spark of a ship entering the atmosphere. Her eyes narrowed. She knew that shape. Varric had come, and this time, the real danger was not from her. It was from him, and to protect the humans. She would have to make a choice, one she had never made before. Zarella moved quickly through the jungle. The sky above her was dark, and the stars were fading behind thick clouds, but she didn't need to see clearly. She knew the land now. She had studied it for days. Now she had to protect it. The humans were no longer her prey. She had seen the new ship enter the atmosphere. The way it flew, the path it took it, could only be one hunter there. He was not like her. He didn't care about honor. He didn't care about rules. He hunted for pride. He killed for fun. He hated mercy. If he found the humans first, he would destroy them all. She climbed a cliff and stood still, letting the wind hit her face. She looked toward the valley where the human camp was hidden. A deep feeling rose in her chest. She didn't want them to die. She didn't want Alex to die. That thought surprised her. She turned and ran. In the camp, Alex was checking the shelter walls. The night was quiet. Too quiet. Maria came over with a worried look. Something's wrong, she said. Alex nodded. I feel it too. Then, without a sound, Zarella appeared at the edge of the trees. She stepped into the light. Some people backed away. Others raised their tools. Alex raised his hand. Don't, he said. She's not here to fight. Zarella looked straight at Alex. Another is coming. A Zenthari. His name is Varric. He is worse than me. When? Alex asked. Tonight, maybe sooner. He will not speak. He will not wait. He will kill you all. A silence filled the camp. Greg stepped forward. Why should we believe you? Zarella turned her head slightly. Because I chose not to kill you. Because I could have ended him days ago, and I didn't. Alex looked at her. Why are you warning us? Zarella answered softly. Because you've saved me, and because I believe you matter. Those words hit Alex in a way he didn't expect. He nodded. What can we do? He asked. Zarella pointed to the cliffs. We set traps. We take him away from the camp. He wants glory. He will come for me. We use that. Alex didn't hesitate. Then let's move. The camp burst into action. People gathered supplies, tools, and ropes. Alex took his spear. Maria and Ben carried sharpened sticks. Zarella showed them where to place the traps, pits, spikes, nets, and more. They worked fast but quietly. Every second counted. Before long, the traps were ready. Zarala stood near the top of the cliff. It will come from the east. That is how he hunts. I will draw him toward the ridge. You stay behind and wait. What if he sees us first? Maria asked. Then I will fight, Zarala said, and I will not lose. Sky turned red with warning light. A small shape shot through the clouds. Sound of engines filled the air. The hunter had arrived. Varric's ship landed far from the camp. He stepped out, tall and strong. His armor was thick and dark, marked with the symbols of many kills. His face was cold, without mercy. He smelled the air and smiled. He knew she was here, Zarala and the humans. He moved fast through the trees. Leaving a trail of crushed leaves behind him, Zarala stood on the cliff waiting. Then she saw him. He stepped into the clearing, his eyes full of anger. You failed, Zarala? You made friends with prey. You forgot who you are. Zarala lifted her spear. I remembered who I could be. He charged at her. She dodged, spinning to the side. She led him through the trees, past the first trap. A net flew up, but he cut through it. He was fast. Zarala kept moving. She threw a stone to signal the others. Alex and Ben pulled a rope. A pit opened. Varric fell in but grabbed the edge and climbed out. Fools, he shouted. I will break you all. He chased Zarala toward the final trap, a narrow bridge over sharp rocks. She crossed it. He followed. Just as he reached the middle, Alex cut a vine. The bridge gave way. Varric fell. There was a crash, then silence. Zarala looked down. Varric lay. Below, broken, but alive. She climbed down and stood over him. Finish it, he growled. Zarala raised her spear, then stopped. No, she said. You hunted for hate. I will not become you. She turned and walked away. Alex helped her climb back up. She was tired. Her hands were shaking, but she smiled. For the first time in her life, she had chosen mercy, and it felt right. The camp was safe. The danger was gone, and something new had begun to grow. Not fear, but hope. Asterisk Night returned to Veritas 9. But this time, it felt different. The jungle was still, but not because of fear. The humans in the camp could finally rest. Varric was gone, defeated. Traps were untouched. The air was calm. Alex stood outside his shelter, looking up at the stars. He thought about everything that had happened. The hunt, the traps, Zarala's warning, and her choice to show mercy. It didn't make full sense to him yet. But he knew something had changed. She wasn't their enemy anymore. Maria walked over and stood beside him. I didn't think we'd survive this long, she said. We wouldn't have, Alex replied. Not without her. Inside the forest, Zarala sat beside a small fire she had built alone. Her legs still ached from the old wound, and her body was tired from the fight with Varric. But her mind was clear. She had made a choice, a new path. Zarala remembered the first time she hunted a human. She was young, proud, and full of purpose. Her people had always said it was an honor, a test of strength. But now, after meeting Alex and his people, that belief had started to fade. Killing didn't feel like honor anymore. It felt like a mistake. In the early morning, Alex found her by the fire. He sat across from her. Neither spoke for a while. The only sound was the crackling of the flames. Then Alex said, "Why did you change your mind?" Zarala looked into the fire. "Because I saw something I never saw before. You, your people, you didn't fight with anger. You protected each other. You showed mercy, even when you had nothing." She paused. "And you spared me. You had the chance to end me, and you didn't. That showed me there's another way." Alex nodded. "You could have let Varric kill us all, but you didn't." "I didn't want to," she said quietly. "Then what do you want now?" he asked. Zarala thought for a long time. "I want to protect, not hunt. I want to do what is right, even if it's hard." They sat in silence again. The bond between them had grown stronger. Not through words, but through actions. Through choices. Later that day, Zarala came to the camp. Some humans still looked at her with fear, but they didn't run. They didn't hide. Maria stepped forward. "Are you staying?" Zarala nodded. "If I'm welcome?" Alex looked around at the others. No one said no. "Then stay," he said. "You've earned it." In the days that followed, Zarella helped repair the camp. She showed them how to move silently through the jungle, how to find clean water deep in the trees, how to spot danger before it came close. The people slowly began to trust her. Children stopped hiding. Adults asked her for help. And every evening, she sat near the fire with them, listening to stories and sometimes sharing one of her own. One evening, Maria sat with Alex. "I never thought a Zenthari would fight beside us. Now she's part of us." Alex smiled. People can change if they want to. Far above, satellites moved in orbit. Messages traveled between stars. Somewhere out there, others would learn what happened on Veritas 9. Zarala had broken the rules of her people. She had turned away from the hunt. Some would call her a traitor, others would want revenge. But Zarala didn't care. She had made her choice. She belonged here now. With them that night, she stood with Alex outside the camp. "More will come," she said. "Hunters, enforcers, they won't stop." Alex looked at her. "Then we'll be ready." Together, she looked into his eyes. "You risked everything for me?" He nodded. "And I'd do it again." Zarala reached out and touched his hand. For the first time, she felt peace. Not as a warrior, not as a hunter, but as something else. Something new, and Alex felt it too. Hope, a future they could build not as enemies, but as allies. Maybe even more. In a jungle that had once been a hunting ground, something different had begun. Not fear, but friendship. And maybe, just maybe, something deeper. The stars above shined brighter that night because, for the first time in a long time, both human and Zenthari believed they were not alone. They had each other.